Well, hello into people, I hope you're doing well. Now today's video is the most unoriginal video idea in the world, but because it's my birthday, I'm posting on my birthday and I'll just post whatever I want. So today's video is basically me giving you 28 facts about myself on my 28th birthday, because why not? Now the first fact about me is that I really don't like celebrating birthdays that much. I'm not the sort of person to have like a big party of sorts, get loads of people together. I'm just not that sort of person. I'm really not. I prefer, you know, a small, intimate kind of family slash friends sort of thing, a meal out somewhere, just acknowledging the fact that I'm a year older, a year wiser, and I'm going greyer by the second. Or even just a simple day trip somewhere, just to the beach or something like that, just to, I don't know, just do something different, just something nice, really chill. In terms of IndieAndy as the channel, it's actually 4 years old. I created this channel on the 3rd of June 2016. I uploaded my first video on the 17th of June 2016, so the day before my 24th birthday. To me personally, it's really weird how the channel's 4 years old, because it feels like yesterday when I uploaded the first video, the really terrible video, which was in 720p, and it's got those black boxes around it, and I used really rubbish college music, which I made myself, as my background music. Oh god, those were the days. However, before I actually start talking about autism, and you know, the channel is an autism channel these days, before that, I just made random content like this. Weirdly enough, I just made whatever I wanted to. I'll link to some videos of my previous stuff down below, just some examples. I might just put it in a playlist. I didn't actually start talking about autism on a weekly basis until June 2016. It was after the autism show in Birmingham, which I went to 2 years ago, and I kind of just decided that was the thing that I wanted to do, because it helped people, you know, me talking about stuff, and it helped me in a weird way as well, just, you know, talking about personal experiences and things like that. So really, even though the channel's 4 years old, I've only really been talking about autism for 2 years, and the fact that the channel has grown really well over the past 2 years alone is just, I don't know, just a testament to just working hard and just doing what I have done, you know, just trying my best, uploading videos that people seem to like, and making things that I enjoy making. So yeah, it's just mad. It's just all mad to me. At my year 11 prom, I actually got an award for the highest attendance in my year for those 5 years at secondary school. Basically, out of the hundreds of students, myself and one other person who I can't even remember who it was, to be honest. I can remember the face, couldn't tell you who it was. We ended up getting an award for highest attendance across 5 years. In terms of the social side of things, I was terrible, but actually going into school and attending classes and all that stuff, basically I was the boss. Again, talking about school, in 2008 when I actually left school, I got my GCSE results, and it turned out I only got 1C at GCSE, which was in graphics. So it was like designing stuff and all that sort of thing. I think our coursework, it had something to do with creating like a DVD box set because of the coursework, and I think we had to do, I'm pretty sure we had to do an exam as well. I ended up getting a C, and that was my only C grade that I got. And the only reason I'm talking about this really is because I know there are a few of you who are, you know, younger, school age, and I really just wanted to say that, you know, if you are doing exams at the minute, whenever you're watching this, if you're worried about the exams and stuff, just do your best, first of all. That's all I can really say to you. Give it your best shot and just try your hardest, you know, try to learn as much as you can learn, but don't stress out about it. And when it comes to results day, if it doesn't work out, then you can always, you know, do other things, you know, going forward later in life. I mean, I went to college, redid my GCSEs, got better grades because of it, and when it came to college or high school for people in the States, I actually did better because, I don't know, it was just more catered to me and the interests that I have. It was just better suited for me, so it ended up better for me in terms of grades and stuff. Now, to those who don't know, I'm engaged. I have a fiance called Nicola. We've been together nearly 7 years, and she has been on the channel before. She has been in a few videos, a couple of vlogs and things, but she hasn't been on the channel for quite a long time. Just to ask you guys, would you want to see a Q&A with me and my fiance? You know, just as like a fun video in the future. If you have a question, let me know down below, and if there's enough of them, I'll try and convince my Nicola to come on here, do a Q&A, and I don't know, just have a bit of fun. I was actually late to our first date. Like, I know when I talked about the prom thing, like I was at high attendance and all of this stuff, but later in life just completely plummeted for me personally. Mental health was quite bad, all of that stuff, but no, I ended up being late, and I'll tell you the reason. The night before, I was actually at a house party. I was at a friend's party. We had alcohol, we had all these different types of things, and it was just an absolute nightmare getting to where my friend was, because I slept over at my friend, to where the date was. It was like a 20-mile difference between the two, and I ended up being late because I caught the wrong bus. I took the bus that took the longest amount of time in the world, pretty much going through every little town and village, which was a really genius idea. Somehow, 7 years later, I'm still here, she's engaged to me, and we're about to be married soon, so somehow it worked out. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I don't know how old I was, it was around then, I got introduced to my bunny called Flopsy. She was a pink and white bunny rabbit toy thing. My dad bought Mum Flopsy because she was unwell or something like that, but I became attached to Flopsy, so I ended up keeping her anyway. And many sleeps were slept with Flopsy by my side. God, I sound like an utterly terrible child now actually thinking about it. I did actually talk about object attachment on the channel, so I'll link it up there if it's something that you want to see and know a little bit more about. My favourite holiday destination is Scarborough in the UK, in Yorkshire. Basically, me and my fiance, we've been there a couple of times. It was actually our first holiday as a couple. We just love it. I love it. It's just feels like home, but it has arcades, amusements, 2-pence machines, you know, claw machines, and also other things like the aquarium and the beach, and, you know, just looking around Scarborough and all of these different things. It just reminds me of home so much that it doesn't feel like it's far away. And to be honest, we've never had any trouble. Every time we've been, we've never had any trouble in Scarborough. So it's our favourite place to go. When I'm feeling anxious or stressed, the main thing that I tend to do is listen to the Final Fantasy X soundtrack. Now, I've talked about Final Fantasy before briefly on the channel. I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack was one of the things that drew me in to Final Fantasy X. It's just a really calming soundtrack. There's obviously songs which are a bit more upbeat. It's just great. It helps me relax. I'm a guy that wears colourful socks. Who wanted to know that? Probably not you, but there you go. Again, talking about feet, I am someone that really likes to pick stuff up with my toes. You're probably thinking, Andy, you're absolutely disgusting, or you've got like a foot phobia or something like that, but I'm someone that can pick stuff up with my toes. I used to follow football quite religiously, to be honest, supporting Newcastle United, who are my local football team. Because I lived in the area, it just became, that's the team I'm supporting. But to be honest, as I got into my adult years and things, just my interest in football just plummeted. Basically, the way I see football these days is a bunch of sweaty men passing a ball around on a pitch for 90 minutes and getting way too much money for it. That's kind of the way I see it. In primary school, I had a thing for aliens, sci-fi, futuristic stuff, and I remember drawing this picture of like a futuristic city. You know, there was aliens and all that sort of thing. I was just really fascinated by aliens, maybe because I felt like an alien inside because of the autism thing. Just to clarify, I wasn't very confident with my autism at all, and when I found out, it was just like, oh my god, I am different sort of thing. It's the way I saw it when I was that age. But anyway, I used to draw quite a lot. One of the best gigs that I ever went to was in 2011. I went to see Pendulum. Now, if you know Pendulum, then you'll know Pendulum. They did things like Propane Nightmare, Tarantula, Witchcraft, those kinds of songs. But basically, to summarize them, they're like an electronic rock band, mainly electronic music. And in 2011 they did a warm-up show in Newcastle at the Newcastle O2 Academy, and the venue itself was a medium-sized venue. At this point Pendulum were doing arenas and stuff, so for them to do a small warm-up show in Newcastle, basically the tickets sold out within a day. I was very lucky to actually get tickets at the time because I had an O2 phone contract, so I could get them on priority, which was really great. They were just amazing live. It was just the best atmosphere. There was mosh pits everywhere and I was getting into the mosh pits and stuff. It was just a really amazing gig. I was so amped. I couldn't sleep that night. It was just amazing. I'm not just a music lover though, I also play music myself. I played the electric guitar. To be honest, when it comes to music and, you know, band work and stuff like that, it is really just a hobby for me. It's a creative hobby that, I don't know, it's just nice. It's a nice thing to do, and it's a great opportunity to write with other people and, you know, just be able to perform those songs live. You know, it's great. When it comes to replying to messages on my phone, whether it's text, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, I am really terrible at responding. I'm one of these people that will see a message, then look at that message and think, oh, I'll respond to it in like 2 minutes, and then it turns into like 2 days. I know it's a rubbish fact about me, but it's something that I did want to talk about. Like, I don't know, I just find it overwhelming. I just find it really, really overwhelming because people just bombard me with messages all day, every day, and especially with work as well. I have to handle like 1 billion emails a day, which, I don't know, it's just too much sometimes. So when it comes to, you know, being at home and reading messages and stuff, it's just something I really hate doing because it's just, it gets too much. So yeah, I don't really respond to messages at all. I am someone who likes the smell of fire. When it comes to, I don't know, camps and, you know, they have a fire going on, or, you know, it's a barbecue or something like that, I just love the smell of fire. It's a random fact and you probably think, Andy, you're really weird, but I also like the smell of petrol as well. That's kind of why I love having the window down every time we go into the petrol station, because I just love the smell of petrol. I don't know why, it's just a nice smell to me, and fire is just one of those things that I find nice. It's just a really nice smell and I can't explain to you why. Obviously I don't go sticking my nose in a fire, obviously don't do that because that's not dangerous, but at a safe distance I just love going fire. Now the other thing about me is that I love going for walks. I am someone that likes to see the world and be around people, even though people can be really annoying sometimes. The main places that I love walking around are Newcastle city centre. Now it does get busy there, I must admit this, but years ago I would just walk around here, there and everywhere, and to be honest there's great places around Chinatown which are quite nice to have a look at, as well as north of the city as well, past Haymarket. There's like loads of fields you can have a walk around as well, which is really nice, quite nice parks. And to be honest, I'm one of these people that likes to window shop, so I'll have a look around Phoenix, for example. I'll literally go into Phoenix, not buy anything, and just have a little walk around, especially in like the TV section and the art section. That's something that I like to do. Now, next fact about me is a little bit sick. It's a little bit gross, I must be honest. It does involve sick, so if that's not your sort of thing, I'll leave the timestamp for the next fact, so you can skip this. Basically, it was New Year's Eve. Me and my friends, this was years ago, I can't even remember what year it was to be honest, but we had been out for the day. We went to get a buffet, a Chinese buffet, came back, had loads to drink. I bought these bottles of cider, Mary Down cider, and to be honest I got warned by my mum not to drink Mary Down because it made her throw up as well, and I actually said to people, nah, she must be bluffing, so I bought these bottles of Mary Down cider. I got incredibly drunk, so drunk that I was barely able to walk, so me and my friend, we went to bed. I was staying at my friend's house basically, and basically I got this pain in my stomach, stood up, instantly threw up. So I ended up throwing up on the floor. I left my jeans on the floor and somehow I managed to get sick in the back pocket of my jeans, and somehow I ended up throwing up so much that some of it ended up going onto the radiator as well. And the friend that I was staying with, they can't stand sick at all, so yeah, I was a bit of a terror that night. The main thing with this one is, please drink responsibly. Do not buy Mary Down. If you live in the UK and you see Mary Down in a supermarket, for goodness sake, do not buy it. When I'm trying to figure something out, I will often talk to myself. I will talk about what I need to do and how to do it, and then say, right, I need to do it. And I really don't know if this is something that other autistic people experience. I would love to know if you do down below, but this is something that I have done ever since I was a kid. I did it once in secondary school, oddly enough. I was in textiles. I was in a textiles class, doing sewing or whatever the heck you do in textiles in the UK. But in this textiles class, I was talking to myself. I was saying, right, I need to do that, and then I need to do this. But then someone in the back of the class was like, oh, why do you talk to yourself for? Oh, you're so proper stupid. Oh. To be perfectly honest, it's something that I don't notice at all unless someone else talks about it or mentions it to me. I have periods of listening to a certain band or a certain genre, and the most recent band that I ended up listening to was the band Queen. I've always loved Queen ever since I was a kid, but because of the current situation, I was actually able to sit down and listen to all of the Queen studio albums. So from Queen all the way up to Made in Heaven. And out of all of the Queen studio albums, this obviously includes Freddie Mercury and John Deacon, my favourite album is The Works, and my favourite non-single song out of all of the albums that I listened to was from The Works, weirdly enough, and it was called Keep Passing the Open Window. So after this video, if you want to have a listen to that song, please do. It was a really great song, and I loved it so much that I ended up listening to it on a loop for 4 to 5 hours. So, Queen! You gotta love Queen. I am someone that loves quiz shows, game shows which involve questions. I like going to quiz nights. I've always liked them ever since I was a kid. I mean, I remember watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the original one, when it first aired in 1998 or 1999, somewhere around there. It's just something I've always been fixated on. I really dislike it when people take photos of me. I really hate it when other people are in control and they take photos of me and stuff. Even the thought of taking photos with people, if they've asked for a photo, I wouldn't be able to look at the photo afterwards because I find it, just the thought of it, I just can't. I can't look at photos of myself when other people have taken them. And even now when it comes to changing my profile pictures and stuff, it's very rare because quite often I hate how I look. So it's very rare that I actually take a picture that I really like and I actually want to change my profile picture. So yeah, there you go. I'm insecure. Who knew? Now talking about an autism fact about me now. My favourite stims are drumming. Like, I love just going do do, something like that, making noises, like sound effects, and actually repeating phrases of like TV shows. The Clavonia advert from years ago where it's like Clavonia do 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 do, something like that. I can't remember what the last phrase of that is. But actually, if you want to know about stimming a little bit more, I'll link to a recent video up there for you to watch after this video in case you're interested. When it comes to food, I am a little bit funny when it comes to cold meats and savoury items. So basically things like cold pastry, cold sandwiches. Well, sandwiches aren't too bad. It's more just like the meat, if it's like meat on its own, and you know, like cold pork pies and things like that, I can't eat. So unless it's crisps or pickled onions, I actually quite like pickled onions, those are quite nice. So unless it's those, then nah. Now this next fact I thought about because fast food places are opening up again in the UK, and it just brought back memories of my time in fast food, which was when I used to work as a crew member at McDonald's back in 2015, so this was years ago. I can probably talk about it a bit more now. I was only there for 1 month. The things that I liked about working there were like mainly around the food. When it came to the customers, it was just hellish. I just didn't like it. I'm not that sort of person. I'm not made for customer service. I'm really not. I like helping people. I can do the customer service side of things, but if it's just the pace of it, you know, it's got to be seconds instead of minutes, as someone once said. And yeah, it just wasn't something that was my cup of tea. And the final fact is that I love cats. They're my favorite animal. So yeah, cats, that's a thing. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me for today's video, and you know, just thank you for supporting the channel. You know, obviously it's 4 years since I started the channel and everything. Really appreciate your support and just all that you do. It's just really amazing. So thank you so much. But if you enjoyed this random video, make sure you leave a big thumbs up for me down below. Stay you, stay indie. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time.